Ah, yeah. Hey, Amaru. Only if you're ready. Let's go. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Me no care about all the noise, but I'm digging your station. See how you got my head spinning with a body rotation. Couple days went by, now I'm losing my patience. Go ahead, drop a pin, girl, wanna know your location. What's your location? Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way, I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day, I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Yeah. Do you know she royalty? Do you know she royalty? I be that one that'll get her heart racing. I did feel like with her we can take over nations, yeah. We can take a trip whenever, girl, you need a vacation. Number one bad girl, killing everything like on a mission. Girl on a mission. Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way, I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day, I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Yeah.
Hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? Welcome to the Friday chat. It has literally just gone midnight here in Lisbon. Yeah, I got in a lot later today than I thought I would, and I was like, I need to rest a little bit before I get on this podcast. So please forgive us, we're on a little bit later, but I hope you are all well. Please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We are powering our way towards 15,000 subscribers, and I think we're maybe like a month away. Yeah, about 40 podcasts away from 30 podcasts away. Yeah, so a month away from hitting 500 videos on this channel. Wild. I cannot believe you have all been here for that much content. Just wild. And it is very highly appreciated. So lots to get through today. So let's see who's in the chat. Who's in the chat with us? Hello, Connie Barmer. Hey, Cinderella. Mabel's here. Plena's here. Hey, Lauren Brown. You'll be able to see the whole thing on time today, yes. And I might take a call or two if we don't drag on too long. Hi, Anna Marie. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Hi, Lavender. Right, let's get to it. Shout out to the squaddy who made this fake magazine cover with Megan on it. Squad Lifestyle, Beauty and Fashion. How to choose buttonless outfits for the summer. If you know, you know. Peaceful under a tree is me. Fashion icon, trailblazer, philanthropist, and most talked about woman on the planet. Princess Megan. Brilliant cover to Squaddy who did that. Right, first things first. Invictus. Team Germany has their little mascot here, and there's lots of Invictus marketing and PR stuff all over Germany and Dusseldorf. So they're really going full speed ahead with the promotion. And I don't know who's doing the marketing for Invictus, but they're doing a fabulous job. Some great partners. We've got Boeing, Land Rover. And when you see, stuff like this, as someone who's in marketing, I can really appreciate what goes behind these types of promotional setups. So well done to Team Invictus. And also, Harry popped up today. There was a segment in a Nat Geo show where they were talking to a veteran, and Harry popped up just to, say thank you to this young chap and thank you for his service, and gave him some encouragement. So I'm going to upload the full video. I'm not going to play it here because I don't know if the copyright police will strike me. But I'll upload the full video on my YouTube channel after this podcast so you can watch it in full. It was quite a sweet video, and he was very, very clearly moved. And you can see Harry just very happy. Definitely that was taken in the Montecito Castle. You can see it in the background. And a nice, sweet moment there, and good to see Harry. Also, the wedding cake baker, Claire Tack, is going to release a recipe book. So this is the lady that did the wedding cake for Harry and Meghan's wedding. There you can see it there in the middle. Gorgeous cake. And it's called Love is a Pink Cake. And I think it's out in April. So those of you that like baking, there's yet another cookbook for you. So we've also got the Wild Central Kitchen cookbook coming out August 23rd, I think it is. And in other book news, Harry in the New York Times bestsellers list for yet another week, top 5. Sitting there at number 2 in between Paris Hilton and some other guy called Benjamin Hall. Don't know who that is. Oh, he's a Fox News journalist. Wow. People have a weird taste in reading. But yeah, he's still at the top of the charts. In Netflix news, so Netflix are going to make a show looking at the behind the scenes of the BBC Newsnight interview with Prince Andrew. And we have heard, and again, you've got to be a little bit skeptical when it comes to things from the British tabloids, but we have heard that it was reportedly Beatrice who encouraged Andrew to do the interview, and what a disaster of an interview it was. And they have cast Charity Wakefield to play Beatrice in the Netflix show called Scoop. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Netflix do this show, how they, relay what happened behind the scenes. And I wonder if the who was it that interviewed Andrew? Was it Emily Mantis? I hope I'm saying her name right. But I wonder if she's played any part in giving Netflix any details of things that happened. I mean, she actually herself gave some interviews after, speaking in quite detail about what went on, the fact that they actually gave Andrew a second chance to do the interview again because everybody in that room was just like, I cannot believe this guy has said this. So they actually gave him a chance and he didn't take it. And the interview came out and it was a complete and utter disaster. So we'll see how Netflix covers that. Also, today, Charles was out and about in Canary Wharf. Canary Wharf is was one of the banking districts in London, and there's a lot of offices there. Canada Square is there, and he was there what was he there for? To open the new European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Right, so bankers are going to be having a great time getting all the money as they do. And what was interesting was that there was an embargo on this engagement. Now, Republic, who's the anti-monarchy group, they tweeted, one of the journalists that was tweeting about it, and they said, well, there was a small crowd. Interestingly, they didn't add this to their public diary of engagements. Wonder why? And then Emily responded saying, the visit was under embargo, so no one knew he was arriving, hence why not many people were there, but it didn't stop those there cheering his arrival. So they must have gone into the offices and just told people in the offices, you can come out, Charles is going to be there, so there was a little bit of a crowd. But then Republic responded to her and said, some of them, and wonder why under embargo. And then Emily responded, the majority of royal visits are embargoed these days for security reasons, I imagine. And then Republic responded by saying the majority of royal visits are on the royal website. While the detail might be embargoed, the visits are usually on site at least a week in advance. So Emily says the visits are embargoed for security reasons these days. So we're definitely paying attention to security and keeping the royals safe, except for the royals in Montecito. We won't even allow them to pay for the armed security that they want, even though they're going to pay for it. So they admit that there are issues with security. And to me, it sounds like perhaps those issues may be heightened, especially with everything that's going on in the country. I don't think too many people are happy to see all of this wealth and privilege being flossed around while they're suffering. So why can't Harry pay for his own security that he wants to pay for? Also, another thing that's very interesting, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go down that conspiracy theory rabbit hole, right? So, Republic were in the Westminster Abbey the other day, right? Protesting. Now, look at this picture. You all can tell me if I'm just being a crazy conspiracy theorist, but you got this picture here, and then you also have this picture from this angle, right? So they're there, they're holding up the sign. There's crowns all over the floor. Both of these pictures look like they were taken by a professional photographer. So was this someone on their team taking these photos? Was there a press person there? Why is there no one else there? Why were there no pictures taken before or after? Were they arrested? Were they led away? And what's also interesting is that they're both wearing shoes. Now notice they're both wearing shoes. This article popped up today. Tourists walking on site of King's coronation for the first time must wear socks. So Westminster Abbey is going to be open to the public, but if you want to walk there, you must wear socks. But these lot here were wearing shoes, and it doesn't appear like they were escorted out. So I don't know. I'm still a little bit suspicious of this Republic group, and I'm going to remain suspicious until somebody gives me evidence otherwise, because I just find it interesting that they seem to be running around doing all these protests, even in Westminster Abbey, which is quite high security, mind you, and nobody seems to be bothering them at all. But let some normal person hold up just a plain sign with nothing on it, they get hauled away by police. Very strange. You all can tell me what you think of that. Right, I'll get your comments before we continue. Please thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're just coming in. Roseanne, you said, don't worry, rest when you can. Your hard work is appreciated. Thank you so much. It's not easy, like doing a podcast every single day, but if I miss a day, especially when a lot happened, and then I have to do all of that, and then all the other news that came through the next day, it's a lot of slides to prepare. Spare is still number one in Canada. Fantastic. Um, you said Claire Tack already has another wonderful cookbook published a while back. The Violet Bakery Cookbook. I tried some recipes. Yum. Oh, thank you so much for letting us know. Good to hear. Right. Sussex Rising, hoping more people join Republic for protesting. Yeah, I hope more people join too, but I wouldn't want anyone to try to pull off a protest like this only to get themselves arrested, because protesting like that in Westminster Abbey, I mean, they have armed guards there. Um, Black Queen, yes, that's a place they don't allow people to go. Yeah. So how did they get in? Um, Lauren Brown, you said controlled opposition is a thing, not that much of a conspiracy. It could happen. We just have no proof. Yeah, that's true. We don't actually have proof. I'm just conspiracizing people. But I just find it interesting. That's all. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but it's just they're an interesting bunch. These Republic. Is there anyone in London who's a squaddy who wants to just low key, hang out with them? Don't tell them that you're a squaddy and just like listen and observe. Freya, you said, I think he went under embargo because Charles doesn't want to be booed and doesn't want the demonstration anymore. He is tired of the embarrassment. Well, I'll tell you something, the Canary Wolf crowd is definitely a crowd that would like him. And he was very warmly welcomed by them. Ginger Lily, you said, and you have the right to be suspicious. In the US, we call this astroturfing. It is too organized to be organic. That's kind of what I feel, yes. Wine Roy, you said, in the US, they just exposed an undercover FBI agent who was trying to set up Black Lives Matter protests. Really? Oh, gosh. I guess that doesn't really surprise me. Right, on to the next thing. In other royal news, Princess Charlene and Prince Albert of Monaco, there were rumors swirling around that they are separating after almost 12 years of marriage. And the palace, the press office of Monaco, actually released a statement formally denying what they call malicious rumors peddled by a French magazine. A spokesperson said, I would like to formally deny the malicious rumors peddled by the French magazine, Royauté. Please disregard this article, which is totally unfounded. Now, it's long been thought that Charlene was pressured into this marriage, that she was duped into it, and has been trying to escape for some time. She went to South Africa, was quite ill there, had to have treatment there, eventually came back. I think she was sent to Switzerland for some rehab. And she's been seen a little bit slightly happier than what she was before, but not really looking like someone who's enjoying life, and seems a bit trapped in her gilded cage. And even around the time that she was getting married, there were rumors that she had tried to escape twice. The thing is, there are plenty of women, let's be honest, who would happily put their mind on the money and their eyes on the wall and would have happily married Albert. Why they had to bamboozle this poor woman here. I don't know. I think that she is staying because they would probably take the kids from her. But this is a different time. This isn't like the era back of, during the Diana era when it was the press controlled everything. I'm sure there's probably a very sympathetic journalist who would take her side if she ever wanted to spill some secrets and spill some tea. And all she really has to do is weaponize the media if she wants to get out and still keep custody of her kids. Because she's clearly unhappy, and this is clearly a very troubled and nasty man. There have been multiple affairs and love children. So please, oh please, someone hashtag free Charlene. Right. Let's have a look. Why enjoyed you said Charlene looked like she wanted to separate the day she got married. Yeah, she literally cried on her wedding day. Benjamin, you said he's aging badly. Geez, she really didn't want to marry him. Apparently, she had an infection related to implants. Oh dear. Well, whatever the case, I just hope that she can get out and find her freedom. Because these royal families, they're a mess. Faya, in February, she went to a fashion show with her daughter to reach out a prize and she looked good and happy. I think she's happy when she's around her kids. I think it's the husband that makes her unhappy. Yeah, free Charlene. I mean, even the Japanese princess went running away to New York. These young blood royals, they're done, had enough. And then you got the one from Norway who's run off with her man as well. They're in LA. The one who married the shaman. So the young ones, they're like, nah, this royal life, what is this? Right. On to the next thing. Right, this popped up today. The investigator jailed for phone hacking claims. Mail on Monday paid for his information. Oh, it's all coming out, folks. All in the run up to Harry's case. So, or Harry and other celebrities and well known figures. So, let's have a read of this article. I'm just going to find it. Oh gosh, I'm sure I retweeted or liked it earlier on today. It seems to have disappeared from my feed. Okay, here it is. So, the private investigator Glenn McClare, who was jailed for phone hacking on behalf of the News of the World. See, notice that some of the investigators and lower level pawns were jailed, but none of the people in executive positions, Murdoch, Brooks, Colston, none of them were put in jail. So this guy has claimed in an interview with ITV News that the Mail on Sunday also paid for his illegally obtained information. The public perception that my services were only used by News International is not the case, as my services and skills were used by other papers, such as the Mail on Sunday. The phone hacking scandal led to the closure of the News of the World in 2011, but Associated Papers have always insisted they never employed the so-called dark arts of their rivals. At the Leveson inquiry, the then editor of the Daily Mail, Paul Darcy, said so under oath. Phone hacking was not practiced. Now, this guy, I believe that there was a scandal because, what was the scandal? Boris Johnson wanted to make him a peer or a lord or something like that. So they were actually helping him instead of prosecuting him. I might do a video on him actually because his name has popped up quite a bit. I might do a similar one like what I did with Rebecca Brooks. So he goes on to say, I can be as confident as any editor, having made extensive inquiries into the newspaper practices and held an inquiry that phone hacking was not practiced by the Daily Mail or the Mail on Sunday. Well, the upcoming court case will see about that. You know that because I gave my assurances earlier in this week. But the investigator, Glenn, says, or he has shown ITV what he claims to be a paper trail of evidence from 2006. He says he was tasked by a freelance journalist who then offered hacked information to associated newspapers. So they're the ones that own the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. The documents include Glenn's handwritten notes, transcripts of hacked voicemail messages, emails, and a payment record, which he claims show his illegally obtained information was paid for by the Mail on Sunday. I don't think this man is lying. The documents refer to Sadie Frost and the former Lib Dem MP Simon Hughes. Both are among a group now taking legal action against associated newspapers for alleged criminal activity and gross breaches of privacy. Now, Associated Newspapers released a statement saying that they never instructed, commissioned, or paid Glenn to engage in hacking or unlawful information gathering. Okay, wait, it goes on a little bit. Okay, so the article then says, when it emerged in 2011 that murdered schoolgirl Millie Dowler had been hacked by the News of the World, it led to public outrage and Glenn's second conviction. But he insists he is not the main culprit at the News of the World. He said, I have 4 daughters myself. All I wanted to do was find a missing girl. They were hacking Millie Dowler's phone. The police knew they were hacking Millie Dowler's phone long before I was tasked. The venom, being one of the most hated men in Britain, is taken its toll on me and my family. So I totally and absolutely understand the devastation that happens to other people. Now, on that comment right there, he says, they were hacking Millie Dowler's phone. The police knew they were hacking Millie Dowler's phone long before I was tasked. So just a reminder that the first Leveson inquiry was meant to be about phone hacking and the press. The second Leveson inquiry, there was meant to be a Leveson 2, was meant to be regarding phone hacking and the police. That was cancelled by the Tory government. David Cameron was the Prime Minister at the time. And if you go back to my Rebecca Brooks podcast, you'll know that David Cameron was, and still is, friends with Rebecca Brooks, who was the lead editor of the News of the World. He even went to her wedding. So just think about that and think about the fact that they cancelled the second inquiry that was meant to look into phone hacking regarding the police. And then think about what this man just said. They were hacking Millie Dowler's phone. The police knew they were hacking Millie Dowler's phone. So they were basically covering for the police and covering for themselves. So Glenn is now trying to appeal to overturn his conviction. Well, I'm sure he regrets what he did. He's had years of his life taken away, but, you know, at the end of the day, mate, you made a deal with the devil. You were working with the tabloids and you got to face the consequences. Right, onto your comments before we move on. Dorothy, you said Albert's black child is around, but he will never get a title. Yeah, they denied him of a title. Okay. Marina, they used him and now he's being tossed out like garbage. They don't need him anymore. Yeah. And now that he wants to overturn his conviction, he's going to start singing like a canary. But this is why you don't make deals with the devil, because he is not loyal to anyone other than his own agenda. You'll get used and then tossed out like trash. Right, on to the next thing. Right. Charles and Camilla and France. The audacity. The audacity, the nerve, the tone deafness to make your first state visit to a country that dealt with, and that's putting it nicely, dealt with their royals that said no to monarchy in the most dramatic fashion. The country that is currently fighting for reform, the country that historically doesn't bow down to anyone, and the country where Princess Diana died. The audacity, the nerve, the tone deafness to think that you were going to go there on your first state visit, Charles and Camilla. It almost stinks of like a twisted victory lap. And you know, Camilla has proven herself to be so vile, having lunch with Jeremy Clarkson the day before he posted that disgusting article about Meghan in The Sun, hiring Diana's dressmaker for her coronation gown. I would not put it past this evil woman if we had seen pictures of her and Charles going to an engagement or something, and they just happened to go through that tunnel. Wouldn't put it past them. This trip should have been cancelled and actually not even planned. It shouldn't have even been planned from the very beginning. There is too much going on in the world, too much going on in France, even before these protests started, for you to be floozing around. I mean, they wanted to go to one of the places they wanted to go to, yes. The City Hall is basically on fire right now. And what's interesting is that they haven't actually cancelled the trip, they've postponed it. I can guarantee you, even if they postpone it until after the riots are done and they come to some kind of agreement, they will show up there and they will probably still be met with protests. This is written in Fortune magazine. The problem with Charles is that he is not the queen. She was very loved here. Paris resident Gerald said, 62 said, Charles does not have such a good reputation here. He seems a bit spoiled. I don't know so much if the Queen was loved in France, or I don't know. If you're French, you can let me know. But I just feel for the most of the rest of the world, it's like it was the Queen. Like they were neither here nor there. I think if this was the Queen going, people would, feel neither here nor there about it. They wouldn't be excited. They just probably wouldn't care. They just go about their lives. Anyway, it goes on to say, this visit was a chance for Charles to relaunch himself in the eyes of the French. It could have been like a blank canvas, but he will likely not be able to have the impact he would have wished. I don't know what impact they were hoping he would have, even without riots and protests. This trip probably would have come and gone, and nobody would have cared too much. But just given the history of France, King Louis of France and his wife, Queen Mary Antoinette, were both beheaded. He had another one who was executed. So it's just, I don't know what they were thinking. Weren't they also meant to go to Germany? I think they were going to go to France and Germany. So I don't know what's happening with the other trip, but the French one is postponed. If you ask me, it should just be cancelled. Because actually, with everything that's going on in the United Kingdom right now, this is actually the chance for the royals to look inwards and show the people of Britain what they can do at home to help the people. Instead, they're going to France, they're going on trips to the Caribbean, we're going scuba diving in the Caribbean, we're going off to Poland. They're all over the place except for where they need to be, and that is at home with the people of Britain. And this is actually the chance and the time to show that you can be useful. And instead, it's like they want to go on these huge world tours. For what and for who? Also, actually, I'll go to your comments and then we'll get on to the last thing. Why am Droid? France already showed the people what they thought about monarchies a long time ago. Yeah. Yes, Gail Lewis, the country where Princess Diana died. Like, the Lion, the Witch, the audacity of this. You can finish off the rhyme. Yeah. Mina, France is like, we don't want them here. Why would they want them there? Yeah, Annie, they're trying too hard. And Harry said in his book Spare, the crown was always Camilla's goal. And she's almost there. But it's not going to come without a price. Roseanne, you said, that's why I think Chucky and Miller are going to France to drive through Diana's tunnel and brag and gloat. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. Well, I wouldn't put it past Camilla. Maybe not Charles, but I wouldn't put it past Camilla because she seems to have just gone wild with power. Lauren, you said, I think because the Queen was young and known to have lost her father young, as many people did at the time due to World War II, more people felt like she was their contemporary when she ascended the throne. I think perhaps yes. Perhaps yes. But now that we are moving into a time when people are really struggling, I think any signs of, ostentatious wealth and privilege just don't, it just doesn't come across well. And what reeks of gold gilded, unearned privilege more than a British royal? Gail Lewis, I read that the Germany trip was still going to happen. Well, I don't know what's going on in Germany. Is anyone here who's German? Can you tell us how's it going in Germany? Is everything good in Germany? Everything running smoothly? Or are they having protests as well? Charles have no good reputation anywhere because what he and his wife did to Diana and also her being dead. He's also not popular in Germany or Belgium, Spain, or the Netherlands. I don't know that he's popular anywhere. Anywhere other than in Canary Wharf and the bankers that work there. Worm Droid, beloved and respected are two different things. I think maybe something was lost in translation. She was probably respected. That's a good point. Lauren, you said for ego and for ego. That's why they want to go, to dance on ashes. Literally to dance on ashes. Like criminals returning to a scene. Right. On to the last thing. Rob Jobson, Arthur Edwards, Emily Lying Andrews, and some other lady who I don't know were doing their usual yip yapping on one of their royal commentary shows. And Rob Jobson made a comment about Archie. They were laughing about Archie being at the coronation and then Charles singing happy birthday to Archie. And Jobson then made a comment about dangling Archie off the balcony, like the way Michael Jackson was dangling his baby off the balcony. That infamous incident that happened with Michael Jackson and one of his children. You would never ever hear these royal rodent reporters laughing like that about the Cambridge children. And there seems to be this weird trend when it comes to the Sussexes and their children of just making comments like this and laughing about it. Jeremy Kyle talking about throwing Meghan down a well. Robert Jobson also saying, Harry is now proposing his alternative monarchy. He will fix the monarchy. He's lucky it's his pa on the throne, not Henry VIII or Elizabeth I. They would have had his head or less and seen it as an attempted coup. He is deluded. And then you also had Eamon Holmes talking about throw Harry and Meghan off the balcony, only to have his back broken weeks later because karma and the juju got him good. And then you also had Robert Jobson making another comment. Oprah Mountbatten Windsor, referring to Archie there, is now 100-1 as Harry and Meghan's baby's name. Oprah Mountbatten Windsor. You never hear these people talking about the Cambridge children like this. It's not appropriate. Anyway, here's the video.
Crown and the king blows out Archie's birthday.
Candles, and it's all about you, Archie. It's all about
They'll sing happy birthday on the balcony to Archie. Yeah.
the balcony. The balcony.
It's like a Michael Jackson thing where they hold him over the...
No way. That's not going to happen.
I mean, Emily Andrews there just laughing away like a hyena. I don't know what was so funny. And then you had the other woman, the balcony, y'all. Here we come again with the balcony. The obsession is real. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I would love to do call-ins, but I'm really, really tired, guys. So maybe we can do call-ins over the weekend because it's quite late now. And I really need to go to sleep. Also, actually, no, I'll talk about that when I finish with your comments because I had an announcement to make. I'm working on something and I might need your help to build it. But let's get through your comments and then I will talk about that in a sec. Nancy, that fat no neck Rob Jobson also deserves to fall down a steep set of stairs. He's not fat, he's big boned and has more to love, dear. I don't like the F word. He's got more to love. Maybe then they will keep innocents out of their vile mouths. Indeed. There's no need to talk about children. He's literally an infant. Why are you talking about him? It just shows just how they don't view those kids and Meghan as human. And we know why. Lauren, you said these people are so violent they need to go to therapy. Indeed. They are violent, they are sad. Yeah, karma's coming for him. Indeed. Oh, good night to you, Lauren Brown. Good night to everyone. Okay, before I go, how much do I want to announce today? Okay, I'll just say this. I'm working on something, and if anyone knows good cafes in your town or city that are really good for sitting down with your laptop and working during the day, please just keep them in mind because I'm going to be asking you to send me suggestions. Okay, so just keep that in mind, folks. In maybe a couple of weeks, I'm going to be announcing something, and it's kind of to do with kind of good workspaces, co-working spaces, that kind of thing. So I'll need your help to offer suggestions. All right. That will be all for today. I will not take calls. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. We'll do it over the weekend. And I wish you all a great weekend. Thank you, as always, for your support. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, like I said yesterday, guys and dolls, all will be well. Don't worry. Once we get over this coronation, this clowning, and once we get over the court case, I really do think it's going to be plain sailing and good things to come. All right. So let's not panic. And as Megan would say, good vibes only. Ciao.
Ah, yeah. Hey, Amaru. Only if you're ready. Let's go. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Me no care about all the noise, but I'm digging your station. See how you got my head spinning with a body rotation. Couple days went by, now I'm losing my patience. Go ahead, drop a pin, girl, wanna know your location. What's your location? Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way out. I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love they do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Do you know she royalty? Do you know she royalty? Do you know she royalty? She gon' say I be that one that'll get her heart racing. I did feel like with her we can take over nations, yeah. We can take a trip whenever, girl, you need a vacation. Number one bad girl, killing everything like on a mission. Girl on a mission. Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way out. I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day out. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love they do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Yeah. Do you know she royalty?
Ha 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 ha!